I'm glad you could join me today. Alright, so today I'll be kind of explaining body plans and their development. This is specification OCR, and it will be 6.1.1c. Alright, so here's what you should know. All vertebrates look very similar in the early stages of their embryonic development. So when the egg has been fertilised and everything, their embryo should look the same, nearly the same. All animals have the same body plan. Some genes are involved in controlling body plans. These are the homeotic genes. Now, homeobox genes are regulatory genes which control the development of the body and initiate mitosis and apoptosis. We'll get to those later. Homeobox genes contain the homeobox sequence, which consists of 180 base pairs. Homeobox sequence codes for the homeodomain, which binds the DNA and initiates transcription. Therefore, these proteins are technically transcription factors, meaning they control the activity of other genes by switching them on. So in other words, the proteins which are created via the transcription of these homeobox sequences and in the homeodomain, these are transcription factors, and they control the activity of other genes. So, homeobox genes are regulatory genes which control development according to a definite body plan. They are amazingly similar in all animals, plants, and fungi. So homeobox genes, you can kind of tell where they come from in all animals, plants, and fungi. Now, Hox genes can only be found in animals. So homeobox genes, animal, plant, and fungi. Hox genes, only animals. Normally they won't talk about homeobox genes, they'll just go straight to Hox genes, but it's good to have both the definitions in. Now, we have 39 Hox genes, and the position of the Hox gene on the chromosome determines where it is expressed. If it's closer to the line, it'll be more. If it's closer to like the left side of the chromosome, it'll be more the base. If it's more along to the right, it could be more down for my legs. So yeah. Now, Hox clusters have up to 10 Hox genes in a cluster. We are believed to have so many of these clusters due to a mutation, allowing for a more complex body plan. So while we've got quite a lot going on, other organisms don't, and we believe it's because at some point there was a mutation which passed along eventually. Now that's why we can have so much. If a Hox gene is changed, the body plan would be altered, affecting other genes, so the mutation would be selected against. So very rarely would a mutation in the Hox gene eventually just become the norm and be passed down. It would normally be selected against, as it would not be beneficial. Hox genes regulate mitosis and apoptosis to increase the number of cells or kill unwanted cells. Once again, we'll get to these a bit later. Now, you have vitamin. Now, a good example of something that can affect the development and the transcription is vitamin A. Vitamin A is normally found in the liver. Vitamin A can turn into retinoic acid, and this retinoic acid can activate the homeobox genes in vertebrates. Now, what this means is that for people like me and you, because I'm guessing you have a spine or a backbone, your backbone basically won't fully develop, and so you could go from being like yatal, but then you kind of get squished, and you may lose legs, and you'll die at a very early age. Now, the retinoic acid here is called a morphogen, which is a sequence which controls the pattern of the development. Now, there are factors that affect the regulatory genes. These include a change in temperature, a change in light intensity, a release of hormones, psychological stress, and drugs. The first two are more for plants, but you might want to know that as well. And the release of hormones, psychological stress, so you're feeling up there, and drugs. And that was me kind of explaining development of bodies and stuff.